Hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. Today we're going to be looking at the Codemasters Collection 1, complete with 17 games. Let's get stuck into it. Okay, Codemasters Collection 1, which comes complete with 17 games. Not the biggest cart in the Evercade collection, but certainly right up there with one of the top 2 or 3 with the amount of games on the cart, which is quite cool. So let's have a quick look. There's the lovely cart, and interestingly enough, there is no poster or stickers this time. Wonder why they just stopped that. Not that it bothers me that much, but anyway, let's have a look at the manual quickly. So we've got the about Codemasters, about sensible software. So Codemasters actually purchased some of the titles like Sensible Soccer, Cannon Fodder. They weren't original Codemasters games. I think there's a few on here that weren't original, like Lo Mania I don't think was original Codemasters game. So they did purchase these, was it in the 90s? Maybe in late 90s, and late noughties, but anyway, it's worth reading about it. But obviously I knew that Sensible Soccer, the 2 best games probably in the cart aren't original Codemasters games, funny enough. They just purchased the rights some years ago. Anyway, that's kind of fascinating, but let's carry on. So there's the old Sensible Soccer, which is just the standard edition. It's the Mega Drive version, I believe. That's really cool. Same here, Cannon Fodder, this is the Mega Drive version. Tennis All-Stars, which is apparently an unreleased version, and I think if you'll read here some information that it was a 4-player possibility, probably for the VS I reckon, which is really cool. Now this was, I think it's very much like Pete Sampras Tennis, I guess. And here we have a really decent Psycho pinball game, Cosmic Spacehead, Super Skidmarks. I've been reading some reports that this game isn't actually working on some carts, and there's a lot of negative comments about some of the carts not being quite complete and there's some issues. So I'll leave a link in the description if you are finding issues with your cart, of where to go and contact Evercade and Blaze, and they'll sort it out for you. They're usually quite good at sorting out issues. We've got Lo Mania, CJ's Elephant Antics, which I really loved. I had this on the C64. But this is the NES version. I believe most of these games, most of these games are all NES versions, I believe, and Mega Drive versions. But I reckon the most of them are all NES. B-52, Mig-29, Ultimate Stuntman, Boomerang Kid, Big Nose the Caveman, F16, Linus Spacehead, Stunt Buggies, and a little bit about more collections and the VS. So guys, we'll get the cart into the unit and have a little look. I have to say, maybe just slightly disappointed that there's still no microcomputers. There's no like C64 versions, Atari ST versions, or Amstrad, anything like that, because that's what Codemasters were originally famed for, was these games on the microcomputers. That's where they actually made their names with collections. The NES version, I reckon they were probably trying to tap into the North America market. So I'm not really overly familiar with all the NES versions for them, but I've definitely played some of the games before, and Codemasters was a big name for me, sort of growing up in the UK. Also, it was a big name then. I mean, they're still obviously very active, making Formula 1 games, Dirt, for example, Grid, some really good racing games. But I would definitely personally like to see games like Colin McRae Rally and Toka Racing. They were really excellent PlayStation 1 games, so maybe a bit of licensing problems, maybe AI on it, but they were really good games. So this is it sort of booted up onto the Evercade device itself. And it looks nice. I like the background that's sort of got around here. It's really quite cool. All 17 games, CJ's Elephant Antics, and interestingly enough, there was a sequel, CJ in the USA, which was really good. Now there's obviously a lot of games I'm surprised aren't here, like Spike in Transylvania and DJ Puff and all these sort of games that were very familiar in the Codemasters, but I suspect that they don't actually own some of the rights to these games even though they published them, which may be why we don't see them. And obviously we really are crying out for the old micro machines, but we live in hope for the VS, don't we? We'll have a quick go through them, guys, and then we'll just crack it on to the big screen rather than play them on here. And they're all here, so it's all 17 games. Without further ado, we'll get them on the big screen and we'll get some of them played briefly in the video next. Okay guys, here we go, it's on the big screen. So 17 games, let's get started. So I think we'll go backwards for a change, just to be a wee bit different. We're going to start with the Ultimate Stuntman. Now, like I said, I'm pretty sure most of these are all NES versions, but I have played a lot of these games, most likely on the C64. Pretty good fun actually to play. I'm not exactly sure what the point of the game is though. Oh yeah, there's a collected guy there. Oh, got the end of level boss. No! Didn't last long there, did it? So quickly, it's difficult to actually see. Definitely probably try and slow down a little bit. And trying to go too fast doesn't really help much, I don't think. You got like the usual annoying NES flickering, which obviously it's a trait of the NES versions, but it's darn annoying. I don't really remember too many other versions that had this annoying feature. Oh, I've done it again. And I died. Anyway, that's actually not bad. Well, need to give it a little bit more time, but it's actually not bad at all. Okay, Tennis All-Stars. Now this is the one that's actually a 4-player game. It was a previously unreleased version. But it is pretty much Pete Sampras tennis, whatever you want to say about it. Let's just do a challenge match. Enter the World Tour, Crazy Tennis, wonder what that is, interesting. So there you see we had 4 possible players we could have picked there. I don't really know what, do you want to enter your own name? Yes, let's go for it. We have to do this, don't we? Crazy B. Let's choose this guy. Crazy B. Here we go. Yay. Oh, forgetting that I'm down the bottom, aren't I? Okay, fair enough. Oh, never reaching that. Yay. Oh dear. I suppose it is a little bit better than Jimmy Corner's tennis. I don't think that would be hard, to be honest, but it's still pretty difficult to hit the ball. I guess you need to be in the right place at the right time or take a lucky guess. Tricky. Oh darn. Never hitting that back, am I? Ooh. Wow. Oh my. Oh come on. Am I really that bad? Oh, well, it's like the computer knows what way I'm going to move before I do. Come on. Oh dear. Okay, that's well out. Sorry. Yay, I hit it. Nope. Yeah, it's ferociously difficult. I think it needs massive amounts of practice to even get anywhere. At least I say it was definitely more playable than Jimmy Connors. I mean, Jimmy Connors was horrendous, but it's not too far off it, to be honest. Yeah, I don't see how I'm supposed to hit that back. You press the button now. That's impossible. Oh, what? Okay, I'm not saying I'm great at tennis, but this is ridiculous.
Game computer. Player 1 to serve.
Honestly, I'm trying. Surely that was in. Oh, sorry guys, that was kind of funny.
Love 30.
Hell, at least there's some comedic value, at least. Oh my
Love
god.
40.
Oh wow. You know, I'm making this look really bad.
15. Love.
Oh, this could be a short-lived game.
30. Love.
I think the difficult level is just far too high, isn't it? It's way too high. I challenge anyone to be decent at this. This is horribly difficult. No chance. Game, set and match.
Game, set,
I give up. I'm obviously not meant for tennis. Okay, Super Skidmarks, and this is one of the ones that people were complaining actually wasn't working. Again, I'll leave a link in the description. If your games on any of these carts don't work, then contact Blaze and they will help you. Honestly, they will help you. They're very good. They'll probably send you a new cart out that works. But anyway, let's have a look at Super Skidmarks. Please, no child is laughing in the back. Okay, I've played many types of games like this, like off-road racing type of thing, and they are quite good fun to play. I think again this is a NES version. Oh dear. Oh, caught sleeping at the wheel again. I find this is actually really tricky to control. Not sure it's just me or the controls seem just a little bit stiff. Or oversensitive, I'm not sure. Well, that seems a bit contradictory, doesn't it? But I just feel that there's so little control over this thing and I'm just bumping about. The guys are going to lap me and I've not even worked out what I'm doing. Okay, so... Ah, jeez, oh. Well, this is really tricky to play, I have to say. Feels like I'm just bouncing from side to side. There's nothing I can... I feel that there's so little control over this. I'm not saying it's the Evercade handheld's fault, I think it's just... That's just how the game feels, it's just... kinda stiff and you're bouncing all over the place. I think a lot of practice is needed to be half decent. Yeah, I know I'm last, thanks for advertising that. Oh, where the cars go. Well, we finished about an hour ago, didn't we? Will just disappear? That's weird. Oh, they're lined up, yeah. Horrifically last. Well guys, that's really tricky to play. Very tricky. Definitely a lot of practice required, but I think the controls just seem difficult. I mean, it might just be me, but I'm finding that really tough to actually control. Have another quick bash, see if I improve any, but it definitely feels a little tricky. Okay, let's get a head start and see if it helps. No, I'm just all over the place, aren't I? Oh dear. Seem to be the only one that's struggling here. At least try and keep up and not be last. I don't see that happening, to be honest. Dearie me. Oh, this is horribly difficult. I mean, I know that people probably complaining about this game not being on the cart, you know, I don't think you're missing anything, guys. You're probably the lucky ones. Okay, I'd say I'm improving, but I'm still last. I might be last by a long way, or just last just a little bit would definitely make. I'm going to still be last. Oh. Yeah guys, if you don't have this game on your collection, don't complain, it's crap. Or maybe it's just me that's crap. Oh, yeah. Okay, we got Stunt Buggies. Aha, yeah, this one's probably a little bit better. Again, we've got another NES version. The Super Skidmarks that we just played was, I'm pretty sure it's a Mega Drive version. Might be wrong, but... Here we go. So this game's a little bit like Rally X, if anyone remembers that from Namco. So you need to go around collecting your bombs and avoid the enemies, and you can see in the map there where they are, so you need to try your best to avoid sort of hitting them. So there's only one way through to the other side, and that's through the through this bridge here. controls are a little bit stiff again. Ah! So the two enemies are sort of patrolling over there. I need to try my best to sort of avoid them. You can see on the map they sort of show up slightly. Oh dear. They're chasing me now. Oh, I need to go left, 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 left. Ah! It's not bad. I mean, I think it's quite tricky. I think you have very little warning before you actually see the enemies. But yeah, so collect all the bombs, get to the exit. It's not bad. So it definitely has that Rally X vibes going with it, but yeah, that's not bad. I definitely would play this one again. Sensible Soccer, here we go. Now this is definitely one of the best games on the cart, along with Cannon Fodder, which are probably the most well-known games that are on the cart, and I'm pretty sure this is again a Mega Drive version. Now, a lot of people are going to be disappointed, maybe it's not the international version, or it's not even the Amiga version. Not that there's anything wrong, I think most of the versions do play very similar anyway. Maybe one day we'll start to get Amiga versions. I think we've definitely missed out on a lot of really good games that could have been Amiga conversions, rather than maybe Mega Drive or SNES. Anyway, so you can change the weather, the in-game music, menu music, game length, etc, etc. Difficult level is start at beginner. Now, depending obviously how, if you've played this before, just leave it on beginner. If you've played it before, then you're going to be putting up, or you'll be winning these games by a long way. So you get custom teams. You could go in here and play in the Booby League, which is kind of cool. Don't know whether you can actually go in here, but I'm not going to go in here. I'm going to go. Oh, abort. So we can edit teams. You can go in there and edit all the information as you see fit. Because if you go into the sort of club teams, you obviously know that there's no proper named teams because of licensing, and all of the player names are all being changed. For example, so this is Euro Super League. So different options you can do: cup matches, super, the usual stuff really that you play. You play 1-on-1 against your friends. It's just going to run through all the games till you get to your games. This is a little bit dull, but you know, you just need to wait. We'll probably be last to go. So here we go. So here you go. You got all the player names, which are obviously they generally have just changed the vowels to something else so that they're not exactly the same names. But anybody that knows, you'll know what the name should be. It kind of makes you funny, but you can go actually through and edit these to what they should be, which is a very painful process to actually go through and do. But I'm pretty sure I did do this in the Mega Drive, but it's painful. I mean, if you accidentally write over your save and you've ever done that, that's just horrible. Anyway, without further ado, let's just jump into a quick game. Euro Super League. So Glasgow is actually Rangers. A lot of them are quite obvious who they are. The other team in Glasgow is called Glaswegian, which is Celtic. But the other teams, you can probably work out who they actually should be. It's kind of funny, it makes me laugh, to be honest. So if you just press the button once, you do a sort of simple pass, and then if you hold the button down, you do a shot. And you can add bend into the shot by pressing left or right on the sort of button, and it'll sort of try and, you know, bend it into the corner, so to speak. So I suppose it's still quite difficult, depending on what team you're playing. It can be quite a tricky game. Obviously Barcelona are one of the sort of better teams. Not as good as Glasgow obviously, but you know. Oh, look at that for last ditch defending. So it's really good to have this, I think, on here, and it'll come into its own, I guess, when you get the VS. You can play against your friends, and that's where it's at when you're playing against your friends. This is one of these games that excels in competition play against your friends. But on its own, even sort of playing yourself against the computer, that's a decent sort of a challenge, that's for sure. And it is a tough old game, and I've probably played it quite a lot over the years. I think it takes time to sort of build up your skills playing the game. So no, you definitely have to have a little bit of patience. You will get there. If you don't like football, then you're probably going to just miss this altogether anyway. Definitely good to have this. I owned this in the Mega Drive, then I bought the Mega CD version, which was really similar. Just had sort of extra crowd noises and stuff going on, but it was much the same game. Pretty sure I had the Xbox 360 version at some point. And yeah, happy days. Oh, is he getting a yellow card? Yeah. Nice touches, but yeah, it's definitely really tricky to score here. Oh! Curled a big long one into the corner there, nearly. Can be tricky to actually get the ball. I mean, a lot of the times the computer controls get to the ball before you can. I'm accidentally sliding in there when I didn't need to. Oh dear. That's got to be a yellow or a red, eh? Yellow. Because sometimes I think the referee, I'm not sure if you could change that. I thought you could at some points change how strict the referees were. I might have made that up. Oh, we're away, we're away. Ah! Just about to shoot and the defender gets it. How annoying. Oh, don't let him shoot. Oh, what a save that was. Wow, full time, nothing each. Very tough game there. Even that was on beginner level too. Anyway guys, let's move on. I'm playing too much football. I've got plenty of time to do that. Let's play Psycho Pinball. So this is a very long card. 17 games is not going to be quick to play through. And it's definitely a mixed bunch so far. There's some games that are a little bit meh, and there's a few games that are pretty good. You definitely play again. Obviously we're going to play Sensible again. I would say it's worth getting the cart if you're loving Sensible. You're going to buy this anyway. And the rest are just bonuses. But I definitely would say that these games are not Codemasters at their best. We sort of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. A lot of these games were released as 4-pack games, like the Quattro packs, which were released a lot on the computers, like C64, Amiga, etc. And they did release them on the NES versions too. And you generally got 4 sort of games on their own, but you've rarely got 4 amazing games. You maybe got 1 decent game and a few sort of so-so games. So the controls, I mean, ideally I think the controls would be great if there was the trigger buttons, but we've got the B button on the left and the D-pad. I suppose that's okay, but it kind of works, I guess. But I think it would have been nice, I guess, to have the option, which I'm not sure if there is. Settings, well, I suppose button maps, I'm not really sure what they are. Oh, I've just messed about, I don't know what the default was now. Oh, who knows, I'm going to mess that up, aren't I? Alright, they're still the same. And honestly, if you like your pinball games, then you're going to like this. This is pretty cool. We've already got quite a few pinball games on Evercade, which is kind of strange. I guess Blaze must love their pinball games. It's not really a type of game that you'd say, oh, we must have this, a pinball game. I guess there'll be somebody else who'll totally disagree with that comment and thinking pinball has to be there. Kind of good fun, I guess. This would be probably one of these games that would be quite good for a high score pinball. Not that I want to play it as a high score game, I'm saying it just probably would be a decent high score challenge. Be a no-brainer, I guess. Okay, let's play on, guys. Not too bad. Okay, so next is Mig-29 Soviet Fighter. Guess kind of looks like an Afterburner style game. Again, you see that it's another NES version. I'd say most of the games on here are all sort of NES versions. Kinda fine, but that would have been nice to get those computer versions on here. Definitely disappointing that they're not on here. I'm pretty sure I won't be alone on that aspect. I think a lot of people would love to see sort of Commodore, Amiga, blah blah blah, and all them Amstrad and Spectrum games. Now that's just annoying me. The controls needed to be the other way about, inverted. Takes a little bit of getting used to if it's the wrong way. Wow, it's pretty tricky. It's very tough. I guess it's a bit like Blue Lightning on Atari Lynx Collection. I'd say the Blue Lightning is probably a better game. This is pretty tricky to play through. And controls a little bit. Yeah, I'm not particularly great at these type of games either. It's alright though. But I honestly can't see me playing it too often. Okay, Mega Lo Mania. Now this is one of these games that's not really going to do justice in a video here. Yeah, so this is quite an in-depth game that needs a lot of help by reading the manual. It's not an easy game to pick up at all. Definitely has its fans out there, but I need to spend more time with this one to understand what to actually do. Again, this is a sensible software game, which Codemasters did not originally own. This was not originally a Codemasters game, but obviously they attained the rights. I think it was the late 90s or early 90s that they did. So for me, these are not Codemaster games. I think what doesn't help here is the graphics are quite small. It's not massively. Obviously, we try to build an army, make them better, I guess. We've got different options: view and alter current design. Okay, happy days. Start with that. Start design a stick weapon. Start design a rock weapon. No, let's go with, hold on, let's do spears. How many guys do we want on them? So I guess we're going to try and build an army that's going to defend our little village kind of thing. I think this is one of these games that really should be played with a mouse rather than a controller. Using a controller for this is not really ideal. Let's kind of up our defence here. Yeah, I'm going to have to be honest and think this just doesn't work on a handheld system or even the VS. I think really you should be playing this as a mouse or a PC game. I can't remember if it was originally actually an Amiga game. It's really an odd sort of type of game to be included. Oh, we're getting fighting going on here. Okay, I get it. It's kind of a defend battle, but you know, I find this deadly dull, to be honest. I'm kind of not one of these people to sort of go in it, and the graphics are very small. Playing this in handheld is going to be painful, I think. Okay, we need to try and get to the surface somehow, riding the bubbles, because our spaceship has crash landed in the ocean and our oxygen is running out. So really you just need to have patience and try and get lucky, I think. I mean the bubbles are so random that I don't think I've got any skill involved at all. Come on. Is there any sort of... oh, here we go, we need to sort of fight over here. Oh, come on, up here. Oh, come on. This is pretty painful. I have played this before and got to the surface in my original look at the video, but it's painful. There's no logic. You could just fluke it and get lucky. Or you could just be wandering about aimlessly and getting absolutely nowhere. Yeah. I think it'd be better if the bubbles appeared a little bit more frequently to sort of help. There's nothing I can do about them appearing there. Oh, come on. Like... it's quite a painful game to play. It really, really is a painful game to play. And our oxygen's going to run out and I've no chance. It's just pure luck, this game. I mean, you could play this loads of times, get lucky, get to the top quite quickly. Other times you could be wandering about aimlessly. Ah dear, frustrating. Okay, F16 Renegade. I say we're about halfway through the carton, kind of think. There's a lot of games here that are not great Codemasters games. And I know I think it's one of these carts that's quantity over quality. We've got two definitely exceptional games one or two okay games, and the rest are really quite poor for me. I honestly don't think I'm going to see myself playing any more than 2 or 3 games on this cart. I think if you've never experienced these games, you may play them more than I will. I've experienced and played some of these games, and I don't think I would give them a second look quite a lot of times. This isn't bad. Not my type of style of game, though. Not a big shooter fan. Oh, it's pretty tricky to play. I feel as if I don't have like an ample warning to be able to move and do anything about it before you sort of die. It's not the worst game, to be honest. I mean, it ain't bad at all. But the difficult level in a lot of these games are quite extreme. You can imagine the frustration of playing these games on like a Commodore 64 when there was no save states and stuff, man. Just horrendous. But I think probably in those days people, well, I know I'd probably had a lot more patience than I do now to play games. Yes, let's move on. Okay, another reason, Cosmic Spacehead. Kind of peculiar little game. Very much like the line of Spacehead. I'm not sure which one's if this is the actual sequel here. It's certainly a kind of strange mixture of games. You got look up, pick up. It's kind of almost like an RPG style game. Yeah, and that's another one of these games that you think, why? I mean, I think this was a NES version. It just looks like you really should be using a computer or a mouse. Yeah, very strange. I don't get it at all. I really don't get the mixture of game style. Doesn't make any sense. The game doesn't make any sense either, to be honest. Wow. Yeah, we've got these enemies here and there's nothing I can do about them except just avoid them. Oh, and die with a pathetic jump. Go all the way back to the start. I mean, Codemasters, come on, are you having a laugh? Wow. I mean, I guess I need to just have a little bit of patience. It's not really that type of game that you're going to whiz through. It's a bit unforgiving, it's a bit tricky. It's a bit of a strange mix, but I mean, I'm not really sure exactly what the point of it is. Scary, scary. Give them the sweeties, maybe? I don't know. I mean, the controls are terrible, I have to say. The controls are absolutely terrible. So you need to point to whatever you're actually wanting to use, pick up, look at, speak, and then sort of see what happens. Aha, finally we have a good game. Cannon Fodder. Again, this was originally sort of Amiga versions. There was quite a lot of different versions of the game. Interestingly, the Amiga version had the sort of soundtrack at the start of the war soundtrack, which isn't present in the Mega Drive version. I guess if it was there you would have to have some kind of licensing rights anyway, so I mean, the Mega Drive version is actually quite good. It's a decent game, sort of war strategy game type of thing. Again, this is another game that would probably benefit from having a mouse. And there's quite a few games on this card which really could be done with a mouse, which is kind of strange and bizarre. Yeah, and they work alright in the hand, but if you can see, you've got your pointer. Not really meant to be as a controller. Sort of point where you need to go, and then you see the soldiers, you shoot the guys. So you've got 3 to sort of destroy in this level. So just point to where you want to shoot or move, and then shoot before they kill you. And that's us, mission complete. And that's pretty much what the levels are like. You've got your soldiers, need to get through, destroy all the enemy, get to the end, and that's it. I mean, it sounds really boring and simple, but it's fantastically addictive. And you definitely get to a point where you sort of lose some of your enemies, lose some of your guys, and it also becomes a bit of strategic sort of battle that you've got. I definitely like this game. I mean, I know it wasn't originally a Codemasters game again, but it's still a magic game. And it looks really nice. I think graphically it's pretty cool too. Ah, guys hiding behind a tree. Oh, I've just lost one of my guys. That's a bit harsh. We've got the Xbox, the X button, sorry, is stuck behind a tree as well. So you tend to get stuck occasionally, it's a bit annoying. But again, this is just crying out for a mouse. It's just not meant to be played on a T-pad. It works alright as a D-pad, but I think it would be such an easier game and more fun to play using a mouse. I wonder if there is a mouse planned for the VS. I suppose you could probably add your own, but would it work? Because there's a few games, like you obviously playing the Worms games, Cannon Fodder, and there's a few other games on here that I think it would be much easier to play as a mouse. Again, would you need a keyboard as well? I don't know. It's definitely a pointy, clicky game. Yay, face complete. So, you get the point. It's a really good game, quite addictive. Another sort of point says, that's quite small. I think playing this on a smaller screen handheld this could be a bit painful, but on the VS I think this would be really good. I'm really looking forward to playing this in the VS. Okay, we're getting down to the last few games, guys. So this is CJ's Elephant Antics. And again, this was obviously more sort of recognisable to me. I had the C64 version. Played the Amiga version as well, which was quite good. But C64 version was absolutely brilliant, really enjoyed it. Tricky control, and there was the sequel CJ in the USA. Again, you could pick these games up for £2-3. But this NES version is actually pretty decent. It's probably easier to control than the Commodore version was. And obviously you can shoot with your peanuts. You've got bombs. Those platforms to jump over are tricky. So I think you pressed, I don't know whether it was pushed down or, yeah, push down on the D-pad, you unleash one of your bombs, which becomes quite a must on some of the sort of enemies when they're lower down on the platform, and it's really difficult to manoeuvre these platforms. Quite easy just to fall off. But take your time, do it properly, and you'll be fine. So this is where I mean you ideally want to press a bomb down and try and take the enemy out before jumping down. Makes it a little bit easier. Let's see if I can try and time this better. There you go. So you can't touch the spikes. But yeah, I'd love this game in the day. I mean, I've played this quite a lot. A very, very tough game. But it's a good game. I have to say I've definitely got a soft spot for CJ's Elephant Antics. Because it's one of those games that I've played quite a lot back in the C64 days. And I'm very well aware it's quite a tricky game. It's not an easy game to actually master or play. But this is a really good version. I mean, this is probably actually better than the C64 version. I think the Amiga version was probably slightly better than this, but this is actually alright. It's nice and colourful. I mean, I'm certainly not complaining about getting this as a NES version, that's for sure. But yeah, it's quite easy to die, but you get lots of lives. I mean, that's something that's quite apparent. You definitely need them because you die a lot. You definitely die a lot. I reckon those lives probably won't even be enough to sort of do what you need to do. And here comes that annoying cloud. Just gets in your way. Right. Oh! Oh, that just bounced over his head there. I'm running out of bombs. Yay. Oh, I missed. As you can see, it's a hard game. Quite unforgiving. I mean, we can think of what it was like in the sort of computer C64 days. There was no save states. You were never sort of defeating this with save states. Oh, I think I need to use a bomb, don't I? Oh, Don't know what that was. It was like a speed up. Oh wow, I'm going like crazy. So I guess out of all of these games, this is only about the third one that I would say was, I'm definitely going to come back to and play through to completion. It's going to be quite good to be able to do that on the Evercade. I think that's something that I really could not have done on the C64 without using some kind of poke cheat thing that you used to type into the computer to sort of get infinite lives. Oh wow, you can see I'm already down to 4 lives. No, I'm down to 3. I'm not sure how many levels it did have, to be honest. So we're coming towards the end of level Guardian now, which is a big hunchback. So I can't remember how to do it. I think you just keep firing and hope for the best, keep dodging. And drop down, just have patience and keep going basically. I think you just need to keep going and hope for the best. Let's see if I can get a bomb on him. Yep. I can remember dying quite frequently on the Commodore 64 version and losing a lot of lives and patience. It's quite a simple game to play. It does have those tricky jumping elements that can be quite frustrating, but have patience and work out the mechanics of the actual game and how it works. Yay, there we go. Old Hunchbacky is dead. Okay, next game is the Boomerang kit. I guess another one I really can't remember playing. I'm not really sure if some of these games were actually released on the sort of computers and they were only NES versions. I may be completely wrong, but I don't remember them. I really don't remember them at all. So we need to collect the boomerang, get to the exit. Pretty simple sort of scenario here. There's not really much controls here. You're just jumping, avoiding the enemies, and collecting your boomerang, getting to the exit. Oh damn, it's got some kind of crazy jumping mechanic. So pretty straightforward. This game might be okay, I think. As the levels go on, it gets a little bit sort of trickier. Oh darn. Maybe not, you die quite easy. Oh, that's really... It looks like the snake's going to come towards you, and then you jump and it doesn't. Oh, fuck. Wow. That's pretty harsh, isn't it? Anyway, let's move on. I'll definitely probably spend some more time on that, but let's move on to the next game. Big Nose. So there's a couple of Big Nose games. You got, this is the original game, and then you got the sequel, which was Big Nose Freaks Out. I definitely remember some of the Big Nose games on the computer versions, but I don't really remember if I played them, to be honest. We've got 3 games left. Let's go to Big Nose the Caveman, which was the first game. I honestly don't even remember Codemasters' slogan being absolutely brilliant on the sort of computer versions. I don't recall seeing it. I only ever recall seeing it on the NES. Don't know whether this was their slogan to sort of promote themselves in the North America region. Don't know. It's a bit strange to say you're absolutely brilliant. I'd really be struggling to say this is an absolutely brilliant cart, to be honest. Yeah. Anyway, final thoughts coming soon. We've got 3 more games to play. Let's sort of get stuck into this one. Okay, it takes a little bit of time to get started, so, oh yeah, so, it's a caveman game. You can just bash them, collect the bones, die. Definitely one thing that's apparent, like the games are very harsh and unforgiving, and I guess that's what the computer games were generally like. I don't know how I had the patience to play through them sometimes. I think playing them as an adult now, I just don't think I have the patience like I did then. I wonder what you guys think. No, do you have the same patience now than you did when you were wee, or as a sort of a child? 'Cause I definitely don't. I don't have time for games that are so cruel and unforgiving like this. I'm sure I'll play this again, but let's move on to the next game. Big Nose Freaks Out. So this is the second of the 2 games. Which is a little bit different. It kind of doesn't. I mean, you're kind of thinking this should be the first game, but it actually, going with the dates there, it's the second game because it doesn't look particularly amazing, does it? It looks like it's a step back. So we're on. I don't know what we're on. Oh, we're still totally unforgiving. What the heck is going on here? I have no idea. So I was collecting bones again. I get some kind of power up. Honestly feels like the game's broken. That was weird. This is probably, yeah, I think this is probably more fun to play than the other game. Oh, in the chute. Or in the treehouse, whatever. Yeah, I suppose the sort of gameplay element here makes it a little bit more fast paced and more fun to actually play. Whereas the sort of the original game is just, I don't know, it's quite tricky, it's unforgiving. This is probably a little bit more friendly to play. I don't really like games that have that one hit kill scenario, it's pretty frustrating. Especially when you're not very good at games. There you go, it's still got that one hit scenario. Oh dear. Okay, we're now back to the first game in the cart, which is B-52. Again, another game I definitely have never played this before. I don't even remember it on the Commodore 64, if it was ever released, if it was. Definitely didn't play it. Choose a door, what difference does it make? Okay, we need to collect the honey and bring it back to the hive. Let's do this. Pretty tricky, again, that's another kind of an unforgiving game. Oh, enemies just appear out of nowhere and kill you. Quite a challenge, I mean, I think it was just really obviously my fault. I can't really kill that guy, so I'm just about avoiding. So I was going to say I was going to take my time, but you can't actually take your time because there's a timer. So let's try and pollinate as many of these flowers as we possibly can and get them back to the hive. Let's see what we can do. Guess I need to try and take my time a little bit. Watch for the enemies. It's generally quite a nice looking game, it's colourful enough. What? Controls a bit tricky, I mean, wow. Don't know why that's flashing, is it nearly full? Okay. Anyways, I think we'll leave that there. Codemasters cart. I definitely think this is one of these carts that's a bit quantity over quality, to be honest. I mean, I think I can only really recall playing maybe 3 games that I really like. I mean, obviously the star games of this is Sensible Soccer and Cannon Fodder by a long, long way. I mean, I'll definitely play these games. They are brilliant. I would guess this cart's worth buying just for the 2 games. But for the rest of the 15, I mean, CJ's Elephant Antics I really like, but the rest of the games are... I'm not sure I'm going to spend a lot of time with them. So I'm really looking at 3 games out of 17 isn't a great turnaround. It's going to be one of the ones, if you really like Sensible Soccer and Cannon Fodder, I would highly recommend it. You're going to be buying this anyway, but otherwise, if you don't, I definitely think this would be one of the first cards I think I'd give it a miss, because it's just full of unforgettable plain games that honestly I don't think I would spend a lot of time with. I mean, if you compare this, for example, to the Indie Heroes cart last month, all fantastically playable games, and you'll love playing all of them. Great discovering all these new games. These are, I mean, all these games, none of them are new, they're all old games, so that's obviously different, and I don't think there's enough quality in here to sort of justify buying this cart unless you really love Sensible Soccer and Cannon Fodder, which I think a lot of people will anyway. It'd be interesting to see your thoughts in the comments, guys. I mean, are you going to buy this cart? What do you think of the overall quality? Is it just me? I mean, I really think 17 games sounds fantastic, but in reality, there's a lot of rubbish games on there. Going to have to be pretty brutal, I'm afraid. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.